Morning. Today we are going to discuss about laryngeal cancers. Okay. So in previous classes I told you about the anatomy of larynx. So larynx has got three subsides. कौन से होते हैं? Laryngeal subsides. So larynx is basically anatomically divided into three subsides. Okay, supraglottis, glottis and subglottis. So these supraglottic cancers are the second most common. The most common cancers are glottic cancers, which comprises around 59%. Okay, and your subglottic cancers are least in number. So what are all the risk factors? Basically these two, smoking and alcohol. Since alcohol is not a big risk factor, but smoking along with alcohol is a big risk factor. ठीक है, आपने PSM में confounding factors के बारे में पढ़ा होगा. So this acts as a confounding factor, this alcohol, right? So alcohol along with smoking is most commonly associated with all of the upper GI malignancies. Upper GI malignancies, laryngeal malignancies, lung malignancies, smoking is the causative factor. Okay, so the incidence of laryngeal tumors is closely related with smoking, as head and neck tumors occur 6 times more among cigarette smokers than among non-smokers. Okay, and there is a linear relationship of alcohol consumption along with cigarette consumption, right? So the death of laryngeal cancer is 20 times more likely for the heaviest smoker than for non-smokers. That means 20 times more death is likely for smokers. Okay. Along with there is unfiltered cigarettes, air cured tobacco, all these things they increase in risk, right? Okay. One important point here is the people who use both tobacco and alcohol along with smoking, they appears to have the highest incidence of laryngeal cancers, right? So what are all the other risk factors? Mainly this HPV, human papilloma virus, of strain 16 and there are multiple strains of HPV, 31, 33, 16, 18. So this 16, 18 is commonly associated. Along with gastric reflux, patients who used to have gastroesophageal reflux disease or laryngopharyngeal reflux, okay, when they are chronically irritated by this acid, okay, what happens? There is change in the transition in the mucosa of the larynx. Whenever there will be transition, there is chances of dysplasia or metaplasia, okay. Then occupational exposure. Can anyone tell me which type of occupation will lead to laryngeal cancers? Mostly nickel industries, okay, cadmium, nickel, the people who are working in these industries like nickel, cadmium, etc. These people are more prone for laryngeal malignancies, okay. And also the people who are working in wood industries, लकड़ी वाली industries में जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं, इन लोगों को भी laryngeal malignancies होने का chances ज़्यादा हो जाता है. There is one important point to remember here is the people who are working in wood industries, basically they are prone for adenocarcinomas, okay. There are so many histological types of laryngeal cancers like squamous cell carcinoma, adenocarcinoma, chondrosarcoma, etc. So this adenocarcinoma is commonly seen in the people who are working in wood industries. Also this nickel cadmium they are more prone for squamous cell carcinoma. So can you tell me which carcinoma is common in larynx and hypopharynx? Is it the adenocarcinoma or a squamous cell carcinoma? Obviously squamous cell carcinoma, because the most of the epithelium is covered by squamous epithelium, okay? ठीक है? Then there is any prior history of irradiation, neck irradiation. For example, there is one carcinoma of the thyroid called as papillary carcinoma. It has got bimodal distribution. That means it occurs in lesser age group also and older age group also. So for that reason, if any child in the childhood or up to age 10, if he has undergone any irradiation in the childhood, that is also one of the causative factors for malignancy in the future. Okay, so if a person coming to you in your OPD, if a patient of age around 40 to 60, male patient with hoarseness, and difficulty in breathing. Coming to your OPD, in your routine ENT OPD, your first suspicion should go towards malignancy and also towards tuberculosis, as tuberculosis is the capital of, in India is the capital of tuberculosis actually. Understood? Any person of 40 to 60 years age, emaciated person, not well built, male, with history of hoarseness or complaint of hoarseness for some days or some more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, then you should suspect a malignancy which is going inside. Or otherwise, if it is a female patient, also you can suspect malignancy, because nowadays what is happening, the ratio between male to female is decreasing in laryngeal cancers. Previously, in 90s it was around 15:1. Male is 15 and female is 1. But now, after 2000 or something in this decade, this ratio has become 5:1 because the smoking patterns are changing, Women are mostly smokers nowadays. It's very hard to believe, but it is the thing, okay? You would have seen. So this cancer ratio has become less nowadays, okay? 5:1 हो गया अभी ये. ठीक है? So the prognosis for small laryngeal cancers that do not have lymph node metastasis is good, with cure rates of 75 to 95%, depending on the site, size of the tumor and extent of the infiltration. Understood? See, these tumors are bound to spread through the lymphatics. Okay? The supraglottic tumors and the subglottic tumors are bound to spread through the lymphatics, but these glottic tumors are very less incident. Around 1% lymphatic drainage is there. Very few lymphatics drain through the glottis, the vocal cords, two vocal cords. Okay? So, if there is no nodal metastasis, so around 75 to 95% patients can be cured easily. लेकिन अगर on examination you got some nodal metastasis, मतलब आपको कोई lymph node मिल गया along with, होता क्या है, this cancer spreads through the lymphatics to the nodes and to the other sides of the body. Understand? Also there is hematogenous spread also, but it is very less to see. Lymphatic spread is more. Cancerous cell क्या होंगे? They will grow, बढ़ेंगे और क्या होगा? Ultimately they will detach from the original site. Seedling कहते हैं उसको. Seedling मतलब छोटे cells 2-4 detach हो गए, and they go through the lymphatic drainage and go to the nearest lymph node. And the nearest lymph node, the first lymph node is called echelon lymph node or sentinel lymph node. Okay? जो सबसे पहला नोड इन्वॉल्व होगा उसको कहते हैं एक्िलॉन और सेंटिनल लिम्फ नोड. ओके, ACHELON, एक्िलॉन लिम्फ नोड और सेंटिनल लिम्फ नोड. ओके, so this supraglottic malignancies usually they involve level 2 to 3, level 1 to 3. 1, 2 or 3 are the most commonly involved tumor, lymph nodes. Subglot is also level 3, level 4. But glottic tumors, glottic matlab the tumors involving the true vocal cord, उनका lymph node spread is very less, around 1%. Got my point? Any doubt till now? So depending on the site of the tumor, where is it in the larynx, depending on the spread of the tumor, up to which lymph node level it has spread, okay, on that particular basis we decide the prognosis of the patient. Prognosis मतलब कितना वो सर्वाइव करने वाला है, हमारे ट्रीटमेंट के बाद पेशेंट को कितना फायदा होने वाला है या कितनी दिन वो सर्वाइव करेगा, ये इन सब चीजों पे डिपेंड करता है. पेशेंट फैक्टर्स होते हैं और डिजीज फैक्टर्स होते हैं. पेशेंट फैक्टर बोले तो पेशेंट का कितना साइट, लैरिंग्स में अगर ट्यूमर है तो कितनी जगह पे है, कितना दूर स्प्रेड हुआ है, और उसकी एज कितनी है. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट इज एज. ओके, इफ इट इज वेरी ओल्ड एज, वेरी लेस सर्वाइवल रेट्स. मिडिल एज है, स्टिल ही कैन bear your chemo radiotherapy which we are going to give in the future along with surgery. Understand? So patient related factors and disease related factors are important for deciding the prognosis of the disease. Okay? Advanced disease has a worse prognosis, obviously. The disease which will be advanced means it's in the stage 3 and 4. There are 4 stages, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stage 1 and 2 is still they are treatable or curable, but the stage 3 and 4, the more the advanced stages, more the treatment is difficult. Okay? Then, supraglottic cancers usually manifest late and have a poor prognosis. They say that this supraglottic malignancy, it presents very late. इनिशियली पेशेंट को क्या होगा, मेनली देयर विल बी अ फॉरेन बॉडी सेंसेशन, होगा कि कुछ अटका हुआ है गले में, हमेशा बंदा बोलेगा जी यार कुछ अटका हुआ है गले में, तो यू विल गो फॉर अ लैरिंजियल एग्जामिनेशन, आप इनडायरेक्ट लैरिंगोस्कोपिक मिरर से एग्जामिन करो, मे बी यू डू फॉर 70 डिग्री लैरिंगोस्कोपी or 90 degree laryngoscopy and you find some small, very small lesion in the supraglottic larynx, okay, but these malignancies late, they occur very late, the symptoms occur very late, so the patient will come to you very late, in the late stages, okay, by that time the malignancy would have spread to other sites, maybe metastasized ho gaya, maybe lymph node metastasis ho gaya, maybe, okay, so they will come very late to you. Can you tell me which malignancy the patient will come to you very early? I think I told you before also. In which malignancy of larynx the patient will come to you very early, and we call it Wellcome's cancer also. Speak loudly, you know, if you know. Which malignancy? There are three malignancies, supraglottic, glottic and subglottic. Which out of these three, which one will come to you first? Batao. Supraglottic malignancy, the symptoms will be very late, okay? The symptoms will come very late. But which malignancy? Obviously glottic malignancy, there will be change in voice. No. Glottic matlab kya hai? True vocal cords. If the true vocal cords are involved, what will happen? The patient will have some sort of change in voice or not? Hoarseness will be there or not? Agreed? So the patient will have hoarseness and आपकी अपनी आवाज चेंज होगी तो आपको appreciate नहीं हो जाएगा जी मेरी आवाज चेंज हो रही है. So that patient will come to you very early. The glottic cancers, they present early. Also there is less than 1% lymph node metastasis or no lymph node metastasis at all. But the patient is having hoarseness, and hoarseness followed by difficulty in breathing, because true vocal cords is just at the glottic chink. Trachea ke just upar hai. So if there is mass there will be difficulty in breathing also if the mass increases in size. So these patients will come to you very early. So that's why these malignancies are otherwise called as Wellcome's cancer. They welcome themselves. Okay? You got my point or not? Any doubt till now? Since these malignancies, they occur very early. I mean, the patient comes to know that he is having some problem in his larynx. He will come to you very early. So these are good prognosis. क्योंकि आप जल्दी स्टेज में you can detect them and you can treat them early. तो उनकी prognosis कैसी होगी? अच्छी होगी. But the problem with supraglottic and subglottic malignancies will be they comes late. Subglottis, again they come early because there is only one difficulty in breathing. Okay? Right, this I have told you already, the incidence and age ratio. Then coming to the histological types. So around 95% of laryngeal tumors are squamous cell carcinoma. The reason behind most of the epithelial lining is squamous cell carcinoma. Okay. Then histological types linked to tobacco and alcohol abuse, this mostly, and there is pathognomic keratin pulse. If you do a histology, you take a biopsy, you take a tissue. How will you diagnose these cancers? You do a laryngoscopy, you do a indirect laryngoscopy or a direct laryngoscopy, you visualize the tumor. The tumor may be either exophytic or ulcerative or infiltrative. Do you know these patterns of spread of tumor? I mean patterns of, macrobiology, what they say na? Macroscopically these tumors are either exophytic, infiltrative or ulcerative. क्या होता है? Exophytic का क्या meaning है? Exophytic means when the tumor is going outwards, okay, as like a cauliflower, there it is spreading. Infiltrative मतलब inside, अंदर की तरफ. तो ये बताओ, exophytic tumors will be seen better or infiltrative tumors will be seen better? Huh? Loudly बोलो, speak. Yes, obviously, exophytic tumors can be seen by naked eyes also. So you will get an idea, yes, this patient is suffering from some sort of cancer. But just by naked eye, you cannot confirm it. For confirmation, what you have to do? You have to take one small bit of tissue from the tumor and send it for histopathology. In order to confirm which type of tumor, whether it is a tumor or a benign tumor, in malignant tumor, which type of tumor, adenocarcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, chondrosarcoma, whatever, so forth and so on, okay? So that confirmation will be done only by what? Biopsy or histopathological examination. Okay. But just by naked eye, you can have an idea, yes, the patient is undergoing some sort of tumor, by complaints also, by examination also. Is it not? Any doubt till now? कोई डाउट है तो पूछ सकते हो आराम से, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. तो वेरियस हिस्टोलॉजिकल टाइप्स आर बेसिकली योर वेरुकस कार्सिनोमा, फाइब्रोसार्कोमा, कॉन्ड्रोसार्कोमा. अबे फाइब्रोसार्कोमा, कॉन्ड्रोसार्कोमा अराइज कहां से हुए भाई? जहां कार्टिलेज होगा. कार्टिलेज इज, कॉन्ड्रो टर्म इज फॉर कार्टिलेज. तो द ट्यूमर्स अराइजिंग फ्रॉम कार्टिलेज, इफ दे आर मैलिग्नेंट दे विल कॉल्ड एज कॉन्ड्रोसार्कोमा. इफ दे आर बिनाइन दे आर कॉल्ड एज कॉन्ड्रोमा. कॉन्ड्रोसार्कोमा हो गया, फाइब्रोसार्कोमा हो गया, नहीं हो गया? फाइब्रोसार्कोमा मीन्स smooth muscle fibers. Everything is there, no? Salivary glands are also there. Larynx is always, it has got some, minor salivary glands also. So tumors arising from those glands, there will be minor salivary gland carcinomas and adenocarcinoma. Okay? Mucosa is basically, you have your globular cells and seromucinous glands over there. So that, if they proliferate, that will be mostly adenocarcinoma. Okay. So this is basically a general anatomy of larynx. If you see the larynx in a sagittal section, this is a coronal section of the larynx. Okay. So what you can see? You can see the hyoid bone, the epiglottis. This is false vocal cords, and these are true vocal cords. So the space in between the false and true vocal cords is known as laryngeal ventricle. Okay. So up to this ventricle, everything comes under supraglottis. Your epiglottis. See this. This epiglottis, false vocal cords, airy epiglottic folds, arytenoids, all these are classified under supraglottis. The true vocal cords, anterior and posterior commissure, it is classified in glottis, and the space below that is subglottis. Understood? Supraglottis में क्या क्या हुआ? Laryngeal surface of epiglottis. Epiglottis has two surfaces. One facing towards the tongue, that is called lingual surface. One facing towards the endolarynx, that is called laryngeal surface. So laryngeal surface of the epiglottis. Then you have airy epiglottic fold, which is formed between the arytenoids and the epiglottis, somewhere here. Then you have the false vocal cords, ventricles, the space between true and false, what is called laryngeal ventricle. Everything comes under supraglottis. Understand? And then glottis comprises of both the true vocal cords, the anterior and the posterior commissure. And just below that, up to the cricoid cartilage is subglottis. Glottic larynx consists of two vocal cords, anterior commissure and posterior commissure. See, this is the anterior commissure. These are the true vocal cords. This is anterior commissure, and what is this? This is posterior commissures. So the glottic carcinomas are mostly seen at the anterior part of the vocal cords. Okay, anterior commissure और anterior vocal cords में mostly glottic carcinoma दिखता है. Posterior में mainly tubercular laryngitis दिखती है. Why? Tubercular laryngitis के जितने भी features होंगे वो posterior larynx में होंगे. क्यों ऐसा क्यों होता होगा? By the way, बताओ. Actually the trachea is more towards posteriorly, तो जितना भी स्पूटम आएगा posterior wall of trachea से आएगा तो कहाँ इरिटेट करेगा? posterior larynx को इरिटेट करेगा. समझ में आ रही बात? आप लेट रहे हो या खांस रहे हो तो क्या है, स्पूटम क्या होगा? posterior larynx को ज्यादा इरिटेट करेगा. तो the features of tubercular larynx will be more towards the posterior larynx. Anterior larynx में carcinomas are more common or benign tumors are more common, like benign tumors like benign laryngeal lesions. Someone was asking me that, sir, you didn't taught us about benign tumors of larynx. I told them I talked to you about benign laryngeal lesions. बताओ क्या होते हैं benign laryngeal lesions? ना जोर से बोलो, मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही वहां तक. बताओ जोर से बताओ, जोर से बोलो यार, मेरे को नहीं सुनाई दे रहा. Nodules, polyps, these are all benign laryngeal lesions or not? Okay, समझ में आ रही बात नहीं आ रही? चलो. Another area beneath this true vocal cords, this area is corresponds to your subglottis. Okay. अब इन ट्यूमर्स का एक पैटर्न होता है बेसिकली. दिस सबग्लॉटिक ट्यूमर्स दे आर दे ग्रो सर्कमफेरेंशियली, ऐसे गोलाई में ग्रो करते हैं. ये ट्रू वोकल कॉर्ड हो गई, इसके नीचे ट्रैकिया है, द एरिया, ये एरिया क्या है, सबग्लॉटिस है. तो दीज ट्यूमर्स कम सर्कमफेरेंशियली, मतलब अंदर की तरफ ग्रो करेंगे. तो क्या होगा इससे? व्हाट विल द प्रॉब्लम टू द पेशेंट? Subglottic tumors are only 5%, okay? 1 to 5%. And they grow circumferentially like this. So what will be the problem to the patient? How the patient will come to you? क्या दिक्कत होगी उसे? हाँ? जोर से बोलो. See, if the tumor is in the vocal cord, what is the problem? Hoarseness. Okay? If the tumor is just beneath the vocal cords and growing circumferentially like this, so what is happening? The lumen of the trachea or the endolarynx is getting reduced. So what is the problem? हाँ? क्या होगा पेशेंट को? स्ट्राइडर हो सकता है, डिफिकल्टी ब्रीदिंग हो सकती है ना. व्हाट इज स्ट्राइडर? व्हेन इट इज गोइंग अंडर अ ल्यूमन, पतली ल्यूमन से क्या होगा? आवाज नहीं आएगी सांस लेते समय. नहीं समझ में आ रही बात? उधर समझ में आया? इधर. See, this is trachea and this is subglottis and there are two vocal cords above. In between these two there is circumferential growth of the tumor. So what will happen? What is happening? Patient is not able to breathe properly, and during breathing what is happening? Some sound is coming out also. So stridor may come, patient is having difficulty in breathing. Those patients will also come to you with stridor. Understand? If the tumor is in the vocal cords, तो vocal cord का काम क्या है? Their basic, what is the main role of vocal cords? Phonation. नहीं है फोनेशन. तो फोनेशन रिड्यूस हो जाएगा ना, थोड़ा सा फोनेशन डिफिकल्ट चेंज हो जाएगा, तो देयर विल बी होर्सनेस. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट और नॉट? सिंपल है यार, कुछ सोचना ही नहीं है इसमें. लेकिन द थिंग विच इज सुप्राग्लॉटिक, जो वोकल कॉर्ड के ऊपर होगा, विल देयर बी एनी सिम्टम? यस, देयर विल बी सिम्टम्स. व्हाट टाइप ऑफ सिम्टम्स? इफ यू हैव attended my class on hypopharynx on this dysphagia, you might be knowing the answer. I took one class on dysphagia. So अगर आपको याद होगा वो क्लास का, तो तुम बता दोगे क्या प्रॉब्लम होगी सुप्राग्लॉटिक लैरिंग्स में. I told you the pattern how the bolus goes into the hypopharynx. बताया था मैंने. वेलिकुला के बाद क्या होता है? एपिग्लॉटिस covers your glottic endolarynx and food divides into two stream. One goes to one hypopharynx, another goes to another hypopharynx. बताया था नहीं बताया था? ये जो एपिग्लॉटिस होगा ये लैरिंजियल इनलेट को क्लोज कर देगा, तो इसके ऊपर क्या होगा? खाना ऐसे दो हाइपोफेरिंग्स में जाएगा. ठीक है. अब अगर देयर इज अ ट्यूमर इन द एपिग्लॉटिस और इन द सुप्राग्लॉटिक सबसाइट, एनी सबसाइट ऑफ द सुप्राग्लॉटिस, व्हाट आर द सबसाइट ऑफ सुप्राग्लॉटिस? एपिग्लॉटिस, एरी एपिग्लॉटिक फोल्ड, फॉल्स वोकल कॉर्ड्स, है ना, पैराग्लॉटिक स्पेस, ऑल दोस थिंग्स. सो दिस थिंग, इफ एनी ट्यूमर इज देयर इन दिस सुप्राग्लॉटिक एरिया, व्हाट विल हैपन? ड्यूरिंग swallowing, थोड़ा जब एपिग्लॉटिस पूरा बंद नहीं होगा ना, तो पूरा बंद नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? लैरिंजियल इनलेट थोड़ा सा ओपन रहेगा, तो थोड़ा सा क्या हो सकता है? खाना या पानी कहाँ जा सकता है? ट्रैकिया के अंदर. तो व्हाट इज दैट कॉल्ड? एस्पिरेशन. एस्पिरेशन एपिसोड्स आर मोर. द पेशेंट मे कम टू यू विद कंप्लेंट्स ऑफ एस्पिरेशन. वो ये कह सकता है जी जब भी मैं खाना खाता हूँ या पानी पीता हूँ तो मेरी सांस अटक जाती है, हमको गला फंसने लगता है, ऐसे बोल सकता है. ठीक है, नहीं समझ में आई बात? और क्या हो सकता है? पेशेंट को हर समय क्या फील होगा कि मेरे गले में कुछ अटका हुआ है. देयर इज सम सॉर्ट ऑफ स्टकिंग सेंसेशन इन द थ्रोट, फॉरेन बॉडी सेंसेशन. अब सपोज इफ अ फीमेल कम्स टू यू with foreign body sensation, most of the female comes to you in OPD with foreign body sensation, what is your first differential diagnosis for that? मेल्स आ गए तो आप सोच सकते हो जी यार 40 to 70 years का है, सिगरेट पीता ही होगा, हो सकता है कोई कार्सिनोमा हो. फीमेल आ गई तो क्या सोचते हो? क्या हो सकता है? गले में कुछ अटका है, कुछ अटका है, कुछ अटका है कहती रहती है. GERD is very common in females. Gastroesophageal reflux. Why? Because most of the Indian females are in stress. Middle-aged Indian woman is in always anxiety. Anxiety is one of the causative factors of GERD. Okay, most common causative factor. तो क्या होगा? हर समय उनको लगेगा कि जी कुछ अटका हुआ है, गले में कुछ अटका हुआ है. When you will examine the larynx, you will have some interarytenoid edema or something over there in the posterior larynx. Understand? अब कोई ओल्ड लेडी आ गई, गांव से आ गई, मान लो मुंशियारी से आ गई या कहीं दूर के गांव से आ रही है, और वो भी उसकी भी आवाज बैठी हुई है और बिल्कुल पतली सी है, तो अब आपके दिमाग में स्टिल यू शुड हैव सम सस्पिशन ऑफ लैरिंजियल कैंसर्स. व्हाई? द पेशेंट इज नॉट अ स्मोकर, शी इज अ फीमेल, शी इज नॉट अ स्मोकर, बट स्टिल शी इज हैविंग सम लैरिंजियल मैलिग्नेंसी. यू कैन सस्पेक्ट. व्हाई? हाँ, गांव से आई है पेशेंट. हमारे पहाड़ों में बहुत होता है. क्यों होता है हमारे पहाड़ों में? फीमेल्स में मैलिग्नेंसी इतनी कॉमन क्यों है? हमारे पहाड़ों में सारी फीमेल्स दे डोंट स्मोक. यस, some females they smoke, but most of them they don't smoke, but still they have malignancy. Why? अबे उसके लिए उज्ज्वला योजना बना दी मोदी जी ने. बताओ क्या होती है उज्ज्वला? उज्ज्वला योजना क्या है? गैस सिलेंडर देना. क्यों? धुआं. चूल्हे में फूकती रहती है ना लेडीज, तो वो चूल्हे की जो स्मोक है डायरेक्टली दे आर इन कॉन्टेक्ट ऑफ दैट. Okay, there is again a soot particle. You do smoking or you do fuka on the chula, what will happen? Same, one of the same things only. Understand? तो हमारी फीमेल्स में क्यों ओरल कैविटी मैलिग्नेंसीज और लैरिंजियल मैलिग्नेंसीज आर कॉमन? बिकॉज दे आर कंटिन्यूअसली एक्सपोज टू द चूल्हा. चूल्हे की धुएं से एक्सपोज रहती है ना, और डेट इज ऑल्सो इन अ क्लोज चैम्बर. आपने गांव के घर देखे हैं, नीचे में गोट कहते हैं गांव के घर में, जो नीचे वाला होता है जिसमें किचन बनी होती है, उसमें वेंटिलेशन नहीं होता. ओनली one window for ventilation. In that closed chamber continuously she is doing something, and that smoke is exposed every time. So that is one of the causative factors. Okay, understand or not? COPD is very common in females in hilly areas. COPD, because of that continuous emphysema, COPD, all these things. The laryngeal cancers patient will also have COPD. क्या उनका पल्मोनरी रिजर्व अच्छा होगा? जब आप एक्सरे कराओगे किसी लैरिंजियल मैलिग्नेंसी वाले पेशेंट का, चेस्ट एक्सरे कराओगे, ब्लैकिश एकदम काला दिखेगा वो. क्यों? बिकॉज ऑफ सीओपीडी और एम्फीसीमेटस चेंजेस समटाइम्स. अंडरस्टैंड? तो देयर पल्मोनरी रिजर्व इज नॉट गुड. क्यों नहीं अच्छा है भाई? धुआं केवल गले तक ही तो नहीं रहा, फेफड़ों में भी तो गया. नहीं समझ में आई बात? यू आर गेटिंग माई पॉइंट और नॉट? सो इन लैरिंजियल कैंसर ऑफ ट्यूमर्स, इन पेशेंट्स ऑफ लैरिंजियल मैलिग्नेंसीज, you will have chest x-ray changes also. Suppose COPD के features तो हैं ही, also you will see some whitish deposits in the chest x-ray. वो क्या है? The tumor might have metastasized to the lungs. तो जो laryngeal tumor होता है सबसे ज्यादा कहाँ? lungs में, फिर उसके बाद liver में, फिर bones में, ये spinal cord मतलब spine में जाता है. तो lung में metastasize हो चुका है. By the time the patient has come to you, a patient is in Munsiari or somewhere there, okay? And he is not able to come, the conveyance is not there. क्या हो गया? पहाड़ों में लैंडस्लाइड हो गया, बर्फ गिर गई, तो रोड बंद हो गई, तो पेशेंट नेग्लेक्ट्स हिज सिम्टम्स. तो जब तक वो पहुंचेगा तब तक तो स्टेज एडवांस हो चुकी होगी ना? नहीं होगी. तो हो सकता है आपके टाइम बंदा मेटास्टेसाइज लेकर के आए लंग्स में. नहीं समझ में आ रही बात? तो उस केस में कैन वी गो फॉर एनी सर्जरी और रेडियोथेरेपी? नो, वी कैन ओनली गिव पैलिएटिव रेडियोथेरेपी. पैलिएटिव रेडियोथेरेपी का मीनिंग होता है you have to give cure to the symptoms. उसको पेन हो रहा है, उसको सांस में दिक्कत हो रही है, तो you give symptomatic treatment. That is palliative radiotherapy. You are getting my point or not? Now, what is this pre-epiglottic space? There is a fat-filled space in front of epiglottis which is bounded by hyoid bone, hyoepiglottic ligament and the thyroid membrane. It is anterior to the epiglottis. So what is the surgical importance of this space? What happens is when the tumor goes through this epiglottis into this space, the stage increases. It becomes T3. Okay? Tumor stage जो होती है ना, TNM classification, that increases. Also, if the tumor infiltrates this area, it is only being treated by surgery. Radiotherapy will not work here. क्यों? Because only lymphatics are present here, blood vessels are not there. तो blood vessels को आना जरूरी है रेडिएशन को काम करने के लिए. ऑक्सीजन इज अ रेडियो सेंसिटाइजर. ठीक है, जब यहाँ ब्लड होगा ही नहीं तो यहाँ ऑक्सीजन पहुंचेगी नहीं, तो यहाँ रेडिएशन के द्वारा ट्यूमर को, सेल्स को ट्रीट नहीं किया जा सकता. तो इफ द ट्यूमर इन्फिल्ट्रेट्स योर प्री एपिग्लॉटिक स्पेस, आंसर इज सर्जरी फॉलोड बाय रेडियोथेरेपी. ओनली रेडियोथेरेपी विल नॉट सफाइस. अंडरस्टैंड? क्यों नहीं? क्योंकि फॉर रेडियोथेरेपी टू एक्ट यू नीड गुड हीमोग्लोबिन, मोर देन 10 हीमोग्लोबिन. व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ हीमोग्लोबिन इन बॉडी? ऑक्सीजन को अपने ठिकाने पे पहुंचाना. इज इट नॉट? 4 मॉलिक्यूल्स लेके कैरी करके चलता है ना हीमोग्लोबिन ऑक्सीजन के. तो ऑक्सीजन एक्ट्स एज अ रेडियो सेंसिटाइजर. मतलब टू रेडिएशन टू एक्ट यू नीड गुड ऑक्सीजन ऑन दैट सेल. ऑक्सीजन पहुंचेगी तब फ्री रेडिकल्स बनेंगे और ट्यूमर को खत्म करेंगे. अंडरस्टैंड? अब यहाँ ब्लड वेसल्स ही नहीं है तो ऑक्सीजन तो पहुंचेगी नहीं. लिम्फेटिक से तो जाती नहीं ऑक्सीजन. तो क्या यहाँ पे रेडिएशन काम करेगा? नहीं करेगा. Coming to the lymphatics, the first echelon lymphatic for supraglottic cancers are subdigastric node, level 2 nodes basically. Then the middle anterior cervical nodes or the Delphian nodes maybe. Subglottic larynx are the Delphian node. Delphian node is nothing but the prelaryngeal node. यहाँ पर एक नोड मिलेगा आपको इस एरिया में. यहाँ देखो, इस एरिया में you will have a node, lymph node sometimes. But that again it is a differential diagnosis for midline swellings, Delphian node. Okay. Now coming to the TNM staging. Glottic मैंने बताया that is very rare metastasis of lymphatics. Glottis में metastasis नहीं होती lymphatics की ज़्यादा. Now coming to the TNM staging of this. तो T1 मतलब हुआ ट्यूमर लिमिटेड टू वन सबसाइड ऑफ द सुप्राग्लॉटिस विद नॉर्मल वोकल कॉर्ड मोबिलिटी. अब सुप्राग्लॉटिस के अलग अलग सबसाइड बताया मैंने. क्या क्या सबसाइड्स हैं? एपिग्लॉटिस है, एरिटिनॉइड्स हैं, एरी एपिग्लॉटिक फोल्ड है, फॉल्स वोकल कॉर्ड्स है. अगर एनी ऑफ दिस सबसाइड इज इन्वॉल्व दैट इज T1. ओके, ट्यूमर इज इन द सुप्राग्लॉटिस, ओनली वन सबसाइड इज इन्वॉल्व. इफ मोर देन वन सबसाइड इज इन्वॉल्व, ओके, and there is no fixation of the larynx. Fixation of the larynx means vocal cord fix हो गई है और arytenoid fix हो गया है, but there is no fixation, that is T2. If the tumor goes to the pre-epiglottic space or the post-coracoid area or the vocal cord, that is T3. Simple. समझ में आ रही बात? देखो, this is a laryngeal endoscopy. What is this? This is airy epiglottic fold. Sorry. What is this? This is airy epiglottic fold. Can you see this one? What is these? These are arytenoids. This is anterior. This is posterior. What is this? This is postcricoid area. This one. Can you see this? This one is postcricoid area. What is these? This is hypopharynx. What is this picture? This is a laryngeal endoscopic picture. ठीक है? What is this? This is hypopharynx. This is postcricoid area. These are arytenoids. This is epiglottis. This one. What is this? This is. ये क्या है? अरे क्या है ये? Where my cursor is? Vocal cords. True vocal cords. What is this gap? This is false vocal cord, this area, this one. This one is false vocal cord. This one is true vocal cord. What is this gap? Ventricle, laryngeal ventricle. Ab if you talk about supraglottis, what are all the subsides of supraglottis? This epiglottis, laryngeal surface of epiglottis, this airy epiglottic fold, these arytenoids, false cord and ventricle. This comes under supraglottis. If any of these subsides is involved, that is T1. ठीक है? एक से ज्यादा सबसाइड इन्वॉल्व हो गई T2. T3 is when the tumor goes to the glottic area. Vocal cord involved हो गई या फिर post cricoid area involved हो गया. That is T3. जब vocal cord involved हो गई तो it may be fix हो जाएगी. And T4 is extra laryngeal spread. larynx से बाहर चला गया ट्यूमर. कहां चला गया? नेक में आ गया. larynx से बाहर क्या है? स्ट्रैप मसल्स है. स्ट्रैप मसल इन्वॉल्व हो गई तो T4A. और अगर बिग वेसल्स जो है आपकी कॉमन कैरोटिड IJV के अराउंड ट्यूमर आ गया है और स्पाइन में चला गया पीछे, सर्वाइकल स्पाइन में, तो डेट इज T4B. यू गॉट माय पॉइंट? एक्स्ट्रा laryngeal spread is T4. If the tumor is inside the larynx, only one subside of supraglottis is involved, T1. More than one subside of supraglottis is involved is T2. T3 is when it goes to the glottic area. समझ आ गई बात? T1 is tumor limited to one subside of supraglottis with normal vocal cord mobility. Obviously, if the tumor is not going to the vocal cord, it is normal. Number 2 is T2 is tumor invasion of the mucosa of more than one adjacent subside of the supraglottis or glottis or of a region outside the supraglottis without asphyxiation of the larynx. Simple. Though more than one subside is involved, it is T2. T3 is tumor limited to the larynx with vocal cord fixation or invasion of the any post-rhecoid area or pre-epiglottic space. Pre-epiglottic space बताई थी मैंने अभी. अगर pre-epiglottic space मैंने बताया था, if the pre-epiglottic space is involved, the tumor stage will increase. It will come T3 or the post-rhecoid area. Now you're getting my point. Very simple. Staging is very, very simple. It comes as a question to you in exam, 5 mark short note question. TNM classification of larynx. And very easy. No need to mug up. Very easy. If you know the anatomy, it is very easy to understand. Supraglottis, glottis and subglottis. 3 subside of larynx. Again in the supraglottis, what are the subside? Laryngeal subside of epiglottis, arytenoids, aryepiglottic fold, false vocal cords and ventricle. Any of these 5 is involved, that is T1. More than one is involved, T2. T3 if it goes to the vocal cord, T3, vocal cord fixation, T3. T4 is when it goes beyond the larynx. अभी तक तो larynx के अंदर ही था. If you got extralaryngeal, that means T4. T4A is when it involves the strap muscles. T4B is when it goes along the big vessels or cervical spine, that is T4B. Now this T3 and T4 are common for everywhere. Glottic और subglottic के लिए common है. और glottic और subglottic तो और भी आसान है. Glottic की when tumor is limited to one vocal cord is T1, both vocal cords is T2, T3, T4 same again. When the vocal cord is fixed, it is T3, T4A and T4B is extralaryngeal spread. You got my point? Very easy. Glottic के लिए क्या है? T1 is tumor limited to vocal cord with normal mobility, one vocal cord. Tumor involves both vocal cords or anterior commissure is T2. T3 is cord fixation and T4 is extralaryngeal spread. Got my point? Very easy. Subglottis, T1 is tumor limited to subglottis, T2 it goes to the vocal cords with impaired vocal mobility, T3 is vocal cord fixed and T4 is extralaryngeal spread. Only supraglottic is tricky but all others are simple. एक vocal cord involved with T1, दोनों हो गए T2, T3 is vocal cord fixation, T4 is extralaryngeal spread. ये तो हो गई glottic की. Subglottic में क्या है? Only the subglottis involved T1 if it goes to the vocal cord with impaired mobility. अभी पूरी तरह fix नहीं हुआ है, just impaired हुई mobility. तो T2 fix हो गया तो T3, 4 is extralaryngeal spread. Understand? हो गया, समझ में आ गया? Supraglottis में if any of the supraglottic subside is involved, T1, more than one subside is T2, T3 is vocal cord fixed and T4 extralaryngeal spread. Extralaryngeal spread में A and B. A is when it is involved only the thyroid cartilage. Larynx, it is formed of thyroid and cricoid cartilage basically. The thyroid cartilage is involved and the strap muscles are involved. T4A. T4B is when great vessels के around हो गया tumor या spine में चला गया, esophagus में चला गया, posterior चला गया, that is T4B. When the tumor is up to T4A, it is surgically treated. It can be surgically treated. Getting my point? But if the tumor is encasing your great vessels or it goes to the spine, can it be surgically operable? But tumor जो है great vessels के चारों तरफ भरा हुआ है, तो क्या ऑपरेट कर पाओगे उसे? Very difficult to operate. भैया आप vessels को काट तो सकते नहीं हो, नहीं समझ में आई बात? तो when the tumor is up to T4A, it is surgically operable. When if it goes T4B, surgery will not be there. Only the radiotherapy with chemotherapy can be done. T1 and T2 tumors are easily operable or easily can be given radiotherapy. You getting my point? T1 और T2 tumor में अगर patient को अपनी आवाज चाहिए, suppose there is T1 vocal glottic carcinoma. What is T1 glottic carcinoma? When the tumor is involving only one vocal cord. So what will be the problem to the patient? Hoarseness will be the problem. आवाज ही change तो होगी. So what we can do? You can cut the vocal cord. उतना पार्शियल लैरिंजेक्टमी कर दीजिए, उतना काट दीजिए, तो उससे क्या होगा? आवाज तो चली जाएगी बंदे की अच्छे से. अब वो चाहता है कि मेरी आवाज रहे, तो व्हाट यू कैन गिव रेडियोथेरेपी और यू कैन रिमूव द ट्यूमर बाय लेजर. लेजर से भी निकाल देते हैं, ठीक है. ट्रांस ओरल लेजर, मुंह के अंदर से लेजर मार के सीधे जितना ट्यूमर उतना साफ कर दिया. तो लैरिंजियल प्रिजर्वेशन मतलब वॉइस प्रिजर्विंग सर्जरीज, मतलब जब आपकी आवाज, तो आप बंदे को ऑप्शन देंगे. यू विल गिव द ऑप्शन टू द पेशेंट दैट आइदर वी कैन सर्जिकली रिमूव दिस ट्यूमर For that what you have to do is you have to do one tracheostomy, temporary tracheostomy, because you are working on the vocal cords. So the patient will not be able to breathe during that operation and after that operation also. So for that you need a tracheostomy first, so that the patient can breathe after the surgery. क्या होगा जब आप काटोगे तो there will be edema, सूजन आएगी तो उससे क्या होगा, स्ट्राइडर होगा तो सांस नहीं आएगी ना. So for that what you need a tracheostomy followed by this your surgery. But in laser and radiotherapy, do you need a tracheostomy? No. You don't need a tracheostomy and the patient's voice will be preserved. भाई आपने सर्जिकली वोकल कॉर्ड काट दी तो आवाज तो उसकी गई ना, थोड़ी मोड़ी चेंज हो ही जाएगी हमेशा के लिए, बट वो चाहता है जी आवाज वैसी की वैसी बनी रहे. तो फॉर दैट यू कैन गिव आइदर रेडियोथेरेपी और यू कैन गो फॉर लेजर. यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? नहीं समझ में आया? अब सुप्राग्लॉटिक मैलिग्नेंसी है, अभी वोकल कॉर्ड इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, तो व्हाट यू कैन डू, इन हाफ कट द लैरिंग्स, आधा ऐसे काट सकते हैं. तो हॉरिजॉन्टल पार्शियल लैरिंजेक्टमी कहते हैं उसको. If this is the larynx and the tumor is above the vocal cords in the supraglottis, तो इतना आधा larynx आप काट दीजिए, that is called horizontal partial laryngectomy. If the tumor is laterally, मतलब समझो it is involving the airy epiglottic fold or the false vocal cord, इससे समझ में आएगा आपको. See this, if you carefully look at this diagram, if the tumor involves here, suppose this is the tumor here, okay, or you can see in this diagram, this is the tumor, can you see that? So what you can do is you can cut it in this way, horizontal partial laryngectomy. Or if the tumor is here, somewhere here, so you can cut it sagittally. नहीं समझ में आया बात? See, this is vocal cord, okay? हॉरिजॉन्टल पार्शियल, दैट इज हेमी लेरिंजेक्टमी कहते हैं इनको, ठीक है ना. चलो सो स्टेजिंग समझ में आ गया, ट्यूमर टी स्टेजिंग समझ में आ गया. अब नोडल स्टेजिंग की बात कर लेते हैं. नोडल स्टेजिंग मतलब TNM, ट्यूमर नोड एंड मेटास्टेसिस. ओके, नोडल स्टेजिंग इज अगेन वेरी सिंपल. पहले बाद में लिखना, पहले समझ लो. N0 मतलब नो क्लिनिकली पाल्पेबल नोड्स, मतलब जब आप क्लिनिकली एग्जामिन कर रहे हैं पेशेंट को तो देयर इज नो नोड्स इन द नेक, दैट इज N0. N1 is node less than 3 centimeter, N2 is node 3 to 6 centimeter and N3 more than 6 centimeter. Any simple. N1 is less than 3, N2 is 3 to 6 and N3 is more than 6. Now N2 is again divided into A, B and C. ठीक है. Now how they are divided on the basis of ipsilateral node and contralateral nodes. होता क्या है basically, this supraglottic malignancies, if it is on one side, it will involve the sides, other side nodes also, crossover nodes involved होते हैं. मतलब मान लो malignancy right side में मिली आपको, but node आपको left side में भी मिल सकता है. तो there is crossover metastasis in case of supraglottic malignancies. तो node either can be on the right side or can be on the left side. तो ipsilateral कहने का मतलब when the tumor is on the right side and node is on the right side, it's called ipsilateral. And if the tumor is on right side and node is on the left side, it's called contralateral. Contralateral, okay. So N1 is single ipsilateral node less than 3 centimeter. मैंने बताया N1 is less than 3 centimeter. N2 is 3 to 6 centimeter. N3 is more than 6 centimeter. So N1 is less than 3. N2 is divided into A, B and C. Understand? You're getting my point? A का क्या मतलब हुआ? Single N2 is single ipsilateral node 3 to 6 centimeter. Multiple ipsilateral node again less than 6 centimeters, N2B. Multiple contralateral nodes, bilateral or contralateral nodes less than 6 centimeter, that is N2C. Simple है, नहीं समझ में आई बात. N1 तो क्या है, less than 3 centimeter ipsilateral. N2A क्या है, 3 to 6 centimeter ipsilateral. N2B 3 to 6 centimeter bilateral or multiple. ठीक है, multiple. And if there is contralateral node 3 to 6 centimeter less than 6 centimeter is N2C. N3 क्या है, any node more than 6 centimeter is N3. अब वो ipsilateral भी हो सकता है, कॉन्ट्रालेटरल भी हो सकता है N3 में, ठीक है ना? हो गया? कोई डाउट है? कोई डाउट इसमें समझ में नहीं आया बताओ, पढ़ लो इसे. N2A is single ipsilateral node of 3 to 6 centimeter. N2B is multiple ipsilateral node. Hello. And N3 is multiple nodes more than 6 centimeter. I mean, single node, multiple nodes can be there, but multiple more than 6 centimeter is very rare to see. Understand? ठीक है? ठीक. हेलो हेलो. हाँ मॉर्निंग मैं थोड़ा सा क्लास. Now presentation, coming to the presentation, hoarseness is the most common symptom. Okay, then changes in voice in patient with chronic hoarseness from tobacco and alcohol will be difficult to appreciate. Then other symptoms are dysphagia, hemoptysis. Hemoptysis मतलब क्या होगा? When there is cancerous growth, there will be new blood vessels, neovascularization. Sometimes while the patient coughs, this new vascularization may get rupture or bleeding हो सकती है. So there can be hemoptysis also. Earache. Why there will be earache? Because which nerve? Arnold's nerve. Arnold's nerve supplies the air also, it goes through this hypopharyngeal area. So if it is irritated, there can be unilateral earache. Usually in hypopharyngeal cancers, if the tumor involves the hypopharynx, same side there is earache, okay, radiating pain, okay. Airway compromise, yes. If the tumor involves the glottic area, there will be aspiration, I told you. And neck mass. Only complaint can be neck nodes. The patient can come to you with different neck nodes, okay, neck mass. You getting my point? These are all the different presentations. समझ में आ गया? Now, how will you confirm? Patient presenting with hoarseness should undergo an indirect laryngeal examination or a flexible laryngoscopic evaluation. Malignant lesions can appear as friable, fungating, ulcerative masses or can be subtle as changes in the mucosal color. Good neck examination looking for cervical lymphadenopathy and broadening of the laryngeal prominence is required. Yes. When the tumor is in the endolarynx, what can happen? This laryngeal prominence may broaden like this. Under tumor, so it can broaden. Similarly, in the nasal polyposis, this nasal bridge broadens. If there is polyposis or tumor inside the nose, what happens? The nasal bridge broadens. Similarly, here the laryngeal framework थोड़ा सा चौड़ा दिखेगा आपको. समझ में आ गई बात? दिख भी सकता है और नहीं भी दिख सकता है. It is not necessary every time it is seen, but it can be seen like this. In cervical examination, you have to see laryngeal framework also. Then there can be, you have to palpate the base of the tongue. Why? Since the base of the tongue is nearer to the larynx, the tumor may extend to the extralaryngeal spread. I told you the thyroid cartilage is involved, strap muscle is involved. Also, base of tongue is involved. If the valvula or base of tongue is involved, again it is extralaryngeal, T4A. So you have to palpate the base of the tongue in order to see any induration or any tumor over there. You getting my point? समझ में आ गया? Then you can have absence of laryngeal crepitus. What is laryngeal crepitus? When you rub the larynx along the cervical body, there is a grating sound. करके देखो अपना. There is a grating sound when you rub. हो रहा है? There is a grating sound. That is called laryngeal crepitus. It is absent when the tumor involves the post-cricoid area. कौन सा area? This area. If this area is involved by the tumor, this grating sound will disappear, and that is called laryngeal crepitus present. If the laryngeal crepitus present, that means the tumor has involved the post-cricoid area. You are getting my point? So staging will become T2. नहीं समझ में आया? T2 हो जाएगी ना staging. But on endoscopy you find only tumor in the one subside of the larynx. But when you examine the neck, there was no laryngeal crepitus. Now staging will become T2. नहीं समझ में आया बात? भाई देखने से आपको लग रहा है it is T1, लेकिन जब आपने larynx का ये crepitus चेक किया, it was absent. तो that means what? It has involved more than one subside. It has gone to post-cricoid area. The staging will become T2. And once you have done a CT scan, in the CT scan you got there is involvement of pre-epiglottic space or the paraglottic space. The staging will become T3, it will again stage up stage. So for patient to be treated, you need a good laryngeal examination, you need a good neck examination, and also you have to go for radiological like MRI or CT you have to see. Understand? तो क्या होगा, स्टेज अपग्रेड हो जाएगी. जैसे जैसे स्टेज अपग्रेड होगी ट्रीटमेंट का पैटर्न बदल जाएगा. आप T1 मान के चल रहे थे, आपने जस्ट एंडोस्कोपी करी, आपने देखा ओनली थोड़ा सा ट्यूमर है, तो आप तो T1 मान के चल गए. आपने कहा जी हम सर्जरी कर देंगे, रेडियोथेरेपी कर देंगे, बट इट विल नॉट सफाइस. But once you have done a good laryngeal examination and you have done a CT scan, you saw that there is involvement of pre-epiglottic space, the tumor stage has become T3 or the paraglottic space. If the tumor involves the paraglottic space, vocal cord gets fixed. Why? I told you in the previous class. Involvement of which muscle? Thyroarytenoid. Vocalis muscle का part होता है. Thyroid arytenoid is thyroid arytenoid has got 3 parts. Vocalis is one of the part. You getting my point or not? भूल जाते हो, पूरा पढ़ते ही नहीं हो क्लास में जाकर के. पढ़ते नहीं हो क्या जाकर के कभी? What to do? खैर anyways. So for the workup is, once you have confirmed that it is a laryngeal cancer, you have to do a biopsy to confirm it, followed by these things: chest X-ray, MRI or CT, liver function test or PET scan. ठीक है? To see for any metastasis. X-ray में दिख जाएगा, liver LFT में deranged होगा तो liver metastasis हो गई. स्पाइन का देखोगे तो पेट स्कैन कर लोगे तो स्पाइन वगैरह में छोटे छोटे जो अगर मेटास्टेसिस है, that can be seen. You getting my point? So everything has to be done before treating the patient. Now you have confirmed that. Now coming to the treatment, pre-malignant lesions or carcinoma in situ can be treated by surgical stripping of the entire lesion. Yes, carcinoma in situ is a zero CIS, मतलब just the tumor has started infiltrating. CO2 lasers can be used for this. I told you lasers. Then T1 and T2 stage can be done by radiotherapy or surgery alone. It is 85 to 95% cure rate. Okay. Radiotherapy is given for 6 to 7 weeks usually. And the other treatments, this is mainly the treatment. Then an advanced stage, what you can do? You can go for a laryngectomy. I told you when the stage is advanced, you can go with surgery with radiotherapy. But in the beginning stages, T1, T2, only radiotherapy or surgery can be given. But in T3, T4, surgery along with radiotherapy. And kaun sa T4? Only T4A. T4A tak you can treat. T4B mein you cannot treat. Okay, you can do surgery. And also that depends on the extent of the tumor. T4A maybe if it is involved the base of tongue, again surgery cannot be done. Base of tongue mein you cannot take out the tongue as a whole with the larynx, very difficult to operate that time. You cannot reconstruct. So T4A may be tab jab khali strap muscles are involved or thyroid cartilage is involved. Then only you can surgically operate, otherwise you cannot. Okay? In that case you can give radiotherapy. Also chemotherapy can also be used with radiotherapy in advanced stages like T4A, T4B. You can give concurrent chemoradiotherapy. Along with chemotherapy you can give radiotherapy. Chemotherapy में कौन कौन से एजेंट 5-fluorouracil cisplatin can be used. Okay, these things are not for you. Only you have to understand if it is stage 1 or 2, T1, T2, surgery or radiotherapy. If T3, T4, surgery along with radiotherapy. That is enough for you. You getting my point? So this is all about your CLN. Any doubt? You can ask. CA glottis होगा तो hoarseness लेके आएगा, सब glottis होगा तो stridal लेके आएगा, supra glottis होगा तो कुछ लेके नहीं आएगा, बहुत देर में आएगा. फॉरेन बॉडी सेंसेशन ला सकता है, एस्पिरेशन हो सकता है या फिर नेक मास हो सकता है. ठीक है, अब तुम जो समझ जाओगे ना कौन पेशेंट मैलिग्नेंसी हो सकती है, क्या हो सकती है, नहीं हो सकती. एनी डाउट? तो नाउ गो टुडे एंड रीड अबाउट दिस चैप्टर. दिस वेरी इजी एंड वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग चैप्टर एंड वेरी मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट ऑल्सो एट द सेम टाइम. बट इफ यू हैव अंडरस्टूड इट प्रॉपरली, इट इज वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो यू हैव टू लर्न दिस डायग्राम. This diagram, if you remember in your mind, everything will be in front of you. The treatment, the surgery, the staging, everything will be there. If this diagram is in your mind. Okay, post-recoid area, arytenoid, area epiglottic fold, false chord, ventricle, true chords. And this area below this is subglottis. Okay, this is supraglottis, this is glottis. Okay? Just remember only this one diagram and everything is in front of you. You can remember the staging also, you can remember the treatment also. Okay? Okay, thank you so much.